BRICS CCI WE is the women empowerment vertical of the BRICS Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I think the majority of the women in our vertical are entrepreneurs themselves. So as I always say, empowered women can only empower others. We have a cohort of women who have come together across the BRICS Plus countries, and we are trying to bring women forward in their careers. We need to think that a career is not just a job, it's a journey. It's a constantly evolving journey.
Hello and a warm welcome to a very special podcast on She Diaries, brought to you by Sheatwork, a one-stop knowledge hub for women entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs in association with BRICS CCI WE, the women's empowerment vertical of the BRICS Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'm your host, Gaurav Chaudhary. In this series, we have some exemplary guests, each one an icon in their field of work, each one an outstanding change maker. Join me in this podcast as we learn to break barriers, negate notions, and strive to steadily create a more equitable, gender-equal society for all. For this episode, I am delighted to have Ruby Sinha, the president of BRICS CCI WE India. Ruby is a very accomplished professional, an accomplished entrepreneur, an accomplished development worker, and has worn many hats. She's a former journalist. She has set up her own very successful communications firm, and she's also the founder of Sheatwork, through which she is doing a lot of work advocating and championing the cause of women's empowerment. Delighted to have you on the show, Ruby.
Thank you, Gaurav.
Ruby, let's start off with a very fundamental question, very basic for the understanding of myself and our own listeners and viewers. Can you take us through the kind of charter of work that you are doing with BRICS CCI WE in India?
So, Gaurav, BRICS CCI WE is the women empowerment vertical of the BRICS Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The BRICS Chamber has been in existence since 2012. But in 2020, a group of women like us came together and we felt there should be a women vertical dedicated to women empowerment issues, where we try to get women expand their horizons beyond just India to other countries, especially the BRICS Plus countries and the partner countries. And that's been a key focus as the BRICS Women's Vertical. We try to work on policy making, on advocacy, on trade and business development across BRICS Plus and other partner countries for our women entrepreneurs, professionals, etc. Besides this, we also try to look at women leadership and mentoring programs across geographies. In fact, we have a dedicated global women leadership program for women all across the world, irrespective of which country they are in, just to help them expand their horizons from being just a small entrepreneur or a professional who's at a mid-career stage to looking at becoming a global leader in some form.
Absolutely. How much of learnings from your own experience are you bringing into this, in the role that you're currently playing and the hat that you're wearing as a president of BRICS CCI WE in India?
So I think the majority of the women in our vertical are entrepreneurs themselves, though we do have quite a few professionals, bureaucrats, former bureaucrats, etc. also. But being an entrepreneur and seeing the sort of, collective, you need a collective voice of women all across you to, help each other grow. So as I always say, empowered women can only empower others.
Right.
So, that's one thing that I've been feeling is that, at least we have a cohort of women who have come together across the BRICS Plus countries, and we are trying to bring women forward in their careers. So I think our personal journeys, the personal experiences that we faced throughout our careers, the challenges we've faced both as professionals and entrepreneurs are something that help us bring together other women and try to see that they do not face these challenges, or they are equipped suitably with the right mentorship and the right tools so that they can quickly expand their horizons.
Absolutely. During your career, a very long and distinguished career you have had, and a stellar career, did you at any point feel a little prejudiced and biased because you were a woman? And can you share some experiences?
Not really. Actually, I feel, the bias in a majority of situations, we come from urban backgrounds, we come from families which are very supportive to you, be it whatever career you take up. And I'm thankful to that, be it as a girl or a married woman. But what I try to say, the most of the time, I have felt the bias also exists within the mind of the woman. And we create these prejudices and biases more often than not. Maybe it's because of the conditioning we've had as a society. So I think it's about us letting go of our biases. It's about us. I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. I called myself an accidental entrepreneur. I was conditioned in a family of regular wage earners, and for me entrepreneurship was a big step, and you'll be surprised that it was my husband in a way who pushed me to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
So I feel the bias exists a lot of times in your head also. And women, if they are strong enough, be it whichever part of the country you're in today, technology has become so strong that you can take over the challenges, and you become a role model for other women around you. So that support group is essential. But I feel biases might be existing, but it's up to us to first let go of the biases that are there in our heads.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
finally, Ruby, if you were to advise your younger self, or if you were to advise a young girl or a woman who's just starting off her professional life and career, what is that one single biggest, most important advice you will give?
So I want to tell them that we as women, it's been my experience that first of all, we need to think the long term. We need to think that a career is not just a job, it's a journey. It's a constantly evolving journey. Don't just restrict yourself to roles and patterns and the ways you develop yourself. Thirdly, I always encourage women, after becoming an entrepreneur myself, though an accidental and reluctant one. Now I encourage more women that think of yourself as a job giver, a job provider, and not a job seeker. Help the economy grow, and do not just think like a solopreneur. Think like an entrepreneur who's helping grow the economy by providing jobs to others. So as a woman, we want gender equity. Gender equity is not a one-time process. It's a constant journey, and we all have to put in our best to showcase that we are capable of reaching that goal in quickly.
Absolutely. Very well said. Thank you, Ruby, for sharing your deep insights and perspectives on a variety of issues. And thank you so much for taking the time out and dropping by to have this conversation with us.
Thanks a lot, Gaurav. Thank you.
That's it from us for this episode. Stay tuned for more.